What's going on, Giants fans? In today's show, we're kind of going to recap Wednesday's practice. But before we do, I just want everyone to show Kenny Golladay some love. It was a tough first season for him in New York. Didn't score a touchdown, but I think he's going to ball out this year with this new offense in Dable and Kafka. So everybody show him some love. Type number 19 in the comments section to show KG some love. What up, everybody? Welcome in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're going to talk about Kenny Golladay and Daniel Jones absolutely dominating at Wednesday's practice. The offense is finally starting to find its groove. And then on the tail end of the show, we'll talk about Evan Neal, who's going through the usual rookie struggles that a lot of offensive tackles do in their rookie season. Let's not overreact. It's just training camp. We'll break all of that down at the end. But let's start with Golladay and Jones. Those two had their best practice together and by themselves individually so far throughout training camp. Golladay had his best practice of the summer. Jones went 9 of 10 in team drills. These are guys that have to get on the same page. It didn't work out year one, but I feel like as they continue to grow in practice, continue to work on the gridiron, they're going to continue to get better and better. You have to have a good chemistry between your quarterback and your wide receiver. And I think Golladay and Jones are finally getting there because they're getting the reps. They need these reps. Golladay and Jones didn't really have much of an offseason last summer because there was some injuries and they didn't really get to work like they wanted to. It never really seemed like they were on the same page last year with Jason Garrett calling the plays. But with Garrett out and Dable and Kafka in, I don't think necessarily Golladay fits this offense perfectly because I think the ideal receiver is a short, shifty slot guy like Tony and Robinson, but I do think there's a spot in this offense for a 6'4", 6'5" receiver that's a deep threat. And Golladay, he showed off those deep threat skills in practice just yesterday. He beat Adoree Jackson on a deep ball in one-on-ones. We'll cycle through some pictures so you guys can kind of get a visual of what happened. He kind of got him off the line. Good release. I would have liked to see him stack him a little bit more, but the nice over-the-shoulder grab, that's what Kenny Golladay is. He is a contested catch machine. When he's not open, he's open. 6'5", long wingspans. Just throw him up the ball and let him work. That's what he did in Detroit. You have to have confidence and faith in a guy, and that's why reps like these are so important. Golladay balled out throughout practice, and I love what he's doing. I love what he's seeing, and it's time for him to transfer that to the game field. Last year, he didn't score a touchdown. I am hoping and praying that this year he gets in the blue end zone at Giants Stadium. But how many times? I don't know. So let's play a little game of over and under. Let's set it at 5 touchdowns for Kenny Golladay. Do you think he'll go over or under 5 touchdowns? Let me know what you're thinking. Type O for over, or you can go down in the comment section and type U for under. The NFL season is right around the corner. Actually, the first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game, is tonight. So it is time to lock New York Giants Now by Chat Sports in for the remainder of the NFL calendar. We're going to be putting out videos every single day on the latest Giants news and rumors, game recaps, game previews, watch party, live shows. This channel is going to go berserk during the NFL season. And if you need another reason to subscribe, it's simple. You hate the Cowboys, you hate the Eagles, you hate the Commanders. Subscribe, hit that big red button. Dan Duggan, who works for The Athletic, shout out to him, one of the best people on the Giants beat. He was at practice on Wednesday, and he had a good little write-up of what happened during the day with Golladay and Jones. He said, Jackson had tight coverage on Golladay on the first play of the final drive, but it didn't matter. Jones threw the ball up, and Golladay made an excellent contested catch along the right sideline for a big gain. Wednesday was easily Galladay's best practice of camp as well. The Giants, they need Golladay to be great. They needed him to live up to that bill of, what was it, the 4-year, $72 million contract he signed in free agency when he came over from the Detroit Lions. It didn't work out in year one. We can all agree that. Only 37 grabs, just 521 yards, was only targeted 76 times, and 0 touchdowns. I don't think that is a true representation, though, of the type of player that Kenny Golladay is at this point in his NFL career. I think he's going to bounce back and get back to that 2019 and 2018 version of himself when he was with the Detroit Lions. In 2019, he led the NFL with 11 receiving touchdowns. And I think the thing that pops off the page the most to me is that in 2019, his average yards per catch was 18.3, whereas in 2021, it was 14.1. He is a deep threat. Run him, let him run deep routes, posts, corners, go routes, goal line fades, deep crossers into play action. I don't think his skill set fit the Garrett offense, but I do think he will find a better and more productive role in this Dable-Kafka offense, a little bit of a hybrid. We'll talk more about this in a second, but I want to hook you guys up with an awesome deal that we have going on over at Fanatics. When you go to chatsports.com/Giants throwback, you can get an Xavier McKinney throwback jersey. You can get a Kadarius Toney one. They got Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, pretty much everyone on the roster, and they got some throwback players. I saw a Strahan, I saw a Tuck, I saw Jeremy Shockey. These jerseys are fresh. The Giants are going to be wearing them 2 times this season. I'm glad they're bringing back these unis. I like the blue home uniforms, don't get me wrong, but I like a little bit of the touch of the red that they have in these. So get yours today before the season starts because they are flying off the shelves and selling like crazy. All you got to do, go to chatsports.com/Giants throwback. You got to go to that link. I'll put it in the comments and description of today's show. To end today's show, I want to talk a little bit about Evan Neal because he has been struggling a little bit at practice, and that's normal for a rookie, especially an offensive tackle, to be struggling in camp. It is tough to play offensive tackle in the NFL. I think outside of quarterback on offense, offensive tackle is the hardest position in the NFL because you're in a reactionary position where you're having to block these 6'5", 6'6" guys that are 280 pounds and extreme athletes. I am not worried about Evan Neal at all, but I think it's my job to tell you guys that he is struggling a little bit, but let's not press the panic button. Dan Guggen again had an awesome write-up on Evan Neal, works for The Athletic. Shout out to Dan. He said right tackle Evan Neal had a rough showing on his 2 reps in one-on-one pass drills. He said he was in a good position against Kayvon Thibodeau initially, but then got flagged for a hold when the outside linebacker started to turn the corner. He also said against outside linebacker Quincy Roche, who was looked quick off the edge all camp, abused Neal with a spin move. No one should overreact to struggles in a drill that favors the pass rusher, but Neal certainly has room to improve in pass protections. Let's not overreact. Let's not worry. Rookie struggles in camp are normal. Every rookie is going to have those days where they don't look like that one player that they were in college that made them a top 10 pick in the NFL. Kayvon Thibodeau, he's struggling to beat Andrew Thomas. I'm not concerned because Andrew Thomas is a top 5, top 10 tackle in the National Football League, in my opinion. So I'm not worried, especially when you're an O-lineman transitioning from college to the NFL. O-line is a big transition from the NCAA ranks to the National Football League because every day you're going up against the number 1 edge rusher in the NFL. In college, you're not. You're sometimes going up against guys that will never put on a helmet and shoulder pads again. Evan Neal is fine. Let's not overreact. Is he struggling? No doubt about it. That means there's room to grow, and I believe he's going to grow into one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. I have no doubt about that. I just want to take a look as a whole at the offensive line. There is some news. Matt Gano sounds like he's going to retire. He kind of just left the team. He's on the left squad is what they're calling it. He just pretty much left practice. He hasn't officially retired. Sounds like he hasn't turned in his official retirement papers, so he probably will not be playing for the New York Giants this year. But the left tackle, Andrew Thomas, has been looking great. John Feliciano has missed a couple practices due to heat exhaustion, but he participated on Wednesday in one-on-one situations against Dexter Lawrence and looked pretty good. Mark Glowinski has looked good, but none of them have been able to block Leonard Williams. I'm expecting a big year for him. And Evan Neal, I am not worried at all. I am not concerned. But I want to ask you guys, it's camp. This is the time to overreact. This is the offseason. That's what fans do. But I want to see how you're thinking. Are you concerned about Evan Neal and his early struggles so far in Giants training camp? I would say I'm not concerned, but if you're concerned, let me know. Concerned, not concerned. Type your thoughts in the comment section right now. I appreciate everybody that's made New York Giants Now by Chat Sports a part of their day today. Let's hit a real one roll call. If you made it this far in the video, drop a real one in the comments, and I'll show you guys some love in the comments section down below.